Welcome to my channel, Marita James, Girls Boys High School. We are revising chemistry from one work. Here we unpack, we analyze, and we solve all the problems in chemistry. Welcome to Girls Boys, the Center of Excellence, the headquarters of chemistry in East and Central Africa. We are looking at revision, kcse revision from one work. And question 1, we have name two types of flame produced by a Bunsen burner. We have two types of flames. Types of flames we have luminous and non-luminous flame. So these are the two types of the flames we have. So we have luminous and non-luminous flame. Luminous flame is produced when the air hole is fully closed, and a non-luminous flame is produced when the air hole is fully opened. So these are the two types of the flames. Which of the flame is used for heating? Give a reason why it is preferred for heating. Of the two types of flames, the non-luminous flame is used for heating. So there are reasons why it is preferred for heating. A non-luminous flame, so which one is preferred for heating? The one which is preferred for heating is non-luminous flame. So you will get 1 mark. And the reason why we are saying that it is preferred for heating, it does not produce soot. So we have a non-luminous flame. It is hotter, is very hot, and then it does not produce soot. In fact, it leaves the apparatus clean even after use. The question 2, the diagram below are some common reparatory apparatus. Name each apparatus and state its use. So this question is testing whether the student understands, will be able to name the apparatus, identify the apparatus, and give its use. So in Form 1 work, we have introduction to chemistry. We have the reparatory apparatus, which are grouped. So we have the apparatus for measuring volume, we have the apparatus for measuring mass. So in Form 1 work, we have, if we can go through Form 1 work, we have category A, apparatus for measuring volume. Apparatus for measuring volume in the diagram, first of all, we have a measuring cylinder. Measuring cylinder are apparatus used to measure approximate volume of liquid solutions. They are calibrated, graduated, given the values, graduated to measure any volume required to the maximum. So one apparatus which is used for measuring volume is the measuring cylinder. We have a burette, and this is the diagram of a burette, as you can see. If you see this diagram, so a student, a learner will be able to identify diagrammatically that this is a burette. What it is used? It is long and narrow apparatus which is used to measure the accurate but different volumes of liquids. Another apparatus we have is a pipette. So in a diagram, this is how the pipette looks. So the pipette, it is used to transfer small and very accurate and fixed volumes of liquids. We have another pipette filler, which is not commonly used. In this case, where the mount cannot be used, so a pipette filler can be used. So a pipette filler is used to suck a liquid solution into a pipette instead of using the mount. We have also a volumetric flask. The volumetric flask is appearing like this one in the diagram. So if you see this one, you will be able to identify this one as a volumetric flask. And this one is used to measure accurate and fixed volume of liquid solution. Then we have the syringe. The syringe appears in a diagram like this one. A learner should be able to identify this one and to state its use. So it is used to measure small and accurate volumes of liquid and gases. So which apparatus can be used to measure gases? So you use the syringe. Then we have the graduated picker. A graduated picker, it appears like this one in the diagram, which is used to measure different approximate volume and also is used to boil liquid substances. We have another category P of laboratory apparatus, apparatus for measuring mass. Apparatus for measuring mass, first of all, we have the PIM balance. A PIM balance in a diagram, it looks like this one. So a PIM balance, it is used to measure. So it is used to measure mass in grams. So if you want mass in grams, you can use you can use a PIM balance. Another apparatus which can be used in measuring mass, you can use electronic or electric balance. This one is it is very common in our laboratory. So this one is used to measure accurate and small masses in grams. So we have other apparatus for measuring masses. You talk of the spring balance. So you can also have a spring balance can also be used to measure the mass. We have apparatus for measuring temperature. Apparatus for measuring temperature. One, we have a thermometer. Thermometer, it looks like this one. It has an alicon or a mercury, which is inside, trapped in a pulp with a thin and closed outlet for the alicon, mercury in the pulp. So what it is used? So it is used to measure temperature during experiments. We have a category D, we have apparatus for measuring time, where we have a stopwatch. You can talk of a clock wall. It appears like this one, and this one is used to it is the standard apparatus for measuring time during experiment. Time is measured using hours. You can measure time in minutes, or you can measure time in seconds. Another group of apparatus, we have apparatus for scooping. We have a spatula, which appears like this one. A spatula is used to scoop solid substance from container. So if you want the solid substance from a container to scoop, you can use a spatula. We have the defrigerating spoon. It appears like this one, and its purpose is it is used to scoop solids which do not require accurate measurement and for holding substances being heated. It can also be used for holding burning substances. We have apparatus for holding substances. These are the apparatus for scooping. So we have apparatus for holding substances. So apparatus for scooping, there are only two. That is a spatula, and then we have the deflating spoon. We have apparatus for holding substances. Apparatus for holding substances, we have 5. So we have a test tube. A test tube, it is used to hold liquid or solid during experiment. It can also be used for heating solid in the laboratory. Then we have a boiling or ignition tube. This one, it is as you can see if you compare with this one is white and it is bigger in size compared to this one, and it is used to hold substances when being heated. We have another one which we have a conical flask. The conical flask, it normally appears like this one. So we have two types of flask. We have three types of flask. We have a conical flask. We have a round bottom flask, and then we have a bottomed flask. So the conical flask, this one, it is a whole exact volume of liquid that have been measured using other apparatus. So we have the narrow mouth. The narrow mouth, which is this one here, it is to ensure no spillage during swilling. It is used for general laboratory experiment. That is the conical flask, because the main purpose or the main use of this conical flask, it is for general laboratory experiment. We have the round bottomed flask, which appears like this one. The round bottomed flask, this one is used for heating liquid substances. It ensures that even distribution of heat, hence it prevents cracking of the flask. So we can, if we use this one, there is an equal distribution of heat. In that case, now we have it can equal distribution of heat, which ensures that there is no cracking of the flask. We have the flat bottomed flask, this one here, which is used for general laboratory experiments. Then finally, not finally really, but we have apparatus for holding substances, where we have the three-pot stand. Then we have a three-pot stand. It is around the bottom. It can be used for it's a three-legged metallic apparatus, which is unstable apparatus, where which unstable apparatus are placed. So an unstable apparatus, we have the beaker. It can be placed there, conical flask. You can put around the bottom of the flask, or you can put a flat bottom flasks where they are placed on the top of this three-pot stand. Then we have a wire gauge. The purpose of the wire gauge is to ensure even the distribution of heat to prevent a cracking glass apparatus. So they can also used to hold small apparatus that cannot reach the edges of the three-pot stand. We have a pipe clay triangle, and this one is commonly tested in an examination. So we have pipe clay triangle. It appears like this one. It is purpose, or it is used, is supporting crucible during heating. Then we have a clamp and a stand. Of course, many of you have come close to this apparatus and you have been used to it. So this is a stand, it's a metallic apparatus which is a tightly hold which can tightly hold apparatus at their neck. It can hold firmly. We can also have a test tube holder which appears like this one. So the purpose of the test tube holder, this one can be used to hold a test tube, a boiling tube, or ignition tube at their neck firmly to the other end. So sometimes test tubes holders have a weighted handle that prevent heat conduction to the hand during the experiment. So the handle can be it can be it can be it can be wide, so to prevent that heat conduction to the hand during the experiment. And then we have another category group of apparatus. We can also have a pair of tongue. Very, very important to note this one. A pair of tongue, it appears like this one. And what it is used? It is used to safely hold corrosive or hot solids. It is used to safely hold corrosive or hot solids. We have another category of apparatus for holding or directing liquid solution. We can also talk of the funnels to avoid spillage. So this one, first of all, you have the filter funnel. The filter funnel, this one, it is used to direct liquid solution safely through a wide mouth of the filter funnel into other apparatus without spillage. We have a filter funnel. It's also used to press a filter paper during filtration. Then we have the disto funnel. So this one here is a disto funnel. The disto funnel is like this one. It is used to carefully deliver liquid substance into reaction vessel during reaction. We have the dropping funnel. Don't confuse the two. This one is a disto funnel. This one is a dropping funnel. A disto funnel has no tap. The dropping funnel, it has the tap. So it has the tap. It is used to add controlled amount of liquid into a reaction funnel. We control the amount of liquid using the tap. Then we have a separating funnel, which appears like this one. A separating funnel is used to separate two immiscible liquids. It can separate kerosene and water, oil and water. We have apparatus used to hold liquids dropwise to reaction funnel. So we have eyedropper bottle. The eyedropper bottle in this case, it appears like this one. It is used to add substances into a solution dropwise. We can have a dropper, or we have a teeth pipette, which appears like this one in the diagram. And this one is used to deliver liquids dropwise. We have other apparatus where we talk about the retort flask. This is the retort flask. The retort flask is used to prepare nitric 5 acid. So this one is normally used in preparing nitric acid, preparatory preparation of nitric 5 acid. We proceed. We have the the lye pig condenser, where we have this is the water out, then we have the water in. This one is used to condense vapors into liquid distillation. We have the fractionating column, which appears like this one. So the purpose of the fractionating column is allow the liquid with the higher boiling point to condense and flow back to the flask if it is vaporizes before it is boiling point. We have a wash bottle. Many of you have come in contact with this and you have been used to this one. It is used for rinsing vessels with narrow necks. Then we have a reagent bottle. A reagent bottle appears like this, which is used for storing paint reagents. This one is used for storing paint reagents. It's very, very important to note. Then we have a crush ball. A crush ball is this one, which is used for heating substances that require strong heating. We have the discaters. The purpose of the use of the discaters appears like this one. It is used for drying or keeping substances dry. It is used for drying or keeping substances dry. We have evaporating dish. The evaporating dish is used when evaporating liquids. Then we have a mortar and a pestle. Mortar and a pestle, this one is used for crushing substances. We have a test tube. The test tube is used for holding boiling tubes and test tubes. So those are the apparatus and the apparatus which can be used in different types of apparatus. They can be used in our lab. And of course, we have lastly we have a gas jar. A gas jar is which is opened at the top. Is opened at one end and it's used for collecting gases. Now, in our question, in our question, the diagram below are some common laboratory apparatus. Name each apparatus and state its use. So the first one, which category is this one? This one is found in the scooping apparatus. It is a scooping apparatus. So this one we named we named this one as the differentiating spoon. The purpose is used one to scoop solid which do not require accurate measurement. So if you need the solid from the container which does not require accurate measurement, you can use this spoon. Number two, it can be used for holding substances being heated. Then the next apparatus we have the discaters. The discaters. This one is used for drying or keeping substances dry. We go to question 3. The following apparatus were set up to separate a mixture of sodium chloride and iodine salt. So we have a wire gas. Wire gas, its purpose is used for equal distribution of heat. Then we have a tripod stand. We have a cold water then we have solid tea, which is this is a glass beaker, a purple vapor, and of course which is iodine. Then we have this is a mixture of sodium chloride and iodine. Name the method used in this setup to separate the mixture of sodium chloride and iodine. The method is just sublimation. It is just sublimation whereby the iodine can sublime into iodine vapor and then leaves back the sodium chloride. So the methods which these methods of separation is used, the name of the method is called the sublimation. What is the purpose of the ice cold water in the experiment? We have the ice cold water. We have the iodine vapor. When we are heating iodine will change direct from a solid state to a gaseous state. So the purpose of this ice cold water, it is to cool the iodine, not to condense. So condensing is not required. So reject. So not to condense. So the purpose of the ice cold water is to cool the iodine vapors Very, very important to note. So those students or candidates who can write condense, they cannot score. So the correct response for the purpose of this ice cold water, it is to cool the iodine vapor and not to condense. Take note on this one. Question 4, it is testing what is chemistry. Very simple. You define, you give a very simple definition. So it is a branch of science which deals with one, it deals with the structure, the composition, and the properties of matter. Simple as that. So it is a branch of science which deals with the structure, the composition, and the properties of matter. Then we have name any other two apparatus that can be used for heating purposes in the laboratory, apart from the Bunsen-burner. So we have a Bunsen-burner is the main apparatus which can be used for heating substances in the lab. So what are the other apparatus which can be used apart from the Bunsen-burner? So apart from the Bunsen-burner, you can use, apart from the Bunsen-burner, you can use a portable pan, or use a gas stove. You can use a candle, solution apparatus. You can use a spirit pan, or you can use a kerosene stove. Number 6, we have what do the following laboratory signs mean? So these are the hazards, what we call them, the laboratory. So we are calling them, those are the hazard signs or the laboratory surveyed signs. So in the laboratory surveyed signs, we have, when you see this sign, this means the substance is very corrosive, is a corrosive. So we have this sign, which means this sign is explosive. Then we have this one here. This is flammable substances. We have this one. This is irritating. Then we have another sign. This one here. So wherever you see this sign, it is oxidizing. Then we have this sign. When you see this sign, this is polluting. Then we have this one. This one is means toxic. And then finally we have this one is radioactive. So those are the laboratory surveyed or the hazard signs. So in this case, laboratory chemicals have a surveyed symbols which help. So the purpose of this one here, it is to help to know the harmful effect of the chemicals. So the purpose of this hazards is to know the harmful effect of chemicals. So it means here the chemical is very corrosive. The substances here, chemicals are very explosive. Substances or chemicals are very flammable when they come in contact with the flame. So this one here, the chemicals are very irritating. So there is an oxidizing, polluting. Then we have toxic, and then we have the radioactive. So what is to the following signs mean? So the first one, it means explosive. So it means that the chemicals are explosive. But P, we have this one here, it is flammable. So it is flammable or inflammable. It can mean N. And then this one here, we have irritating. Then we have name the parts labeled A to E. Of course, this is a pan, one of the major apparatus used for panning. So we are supposed to name part A. When we name part A, this one here, this is the chimney. So if you name this is part is the chimney. Then we have P is the gas tubing. So this one is the gas tubing. This one is used to connect the laboratory gas to the panel. And then we have C, of course, this one here, it is the flame. Then D, this one is the air hole. We have this one as the air hole. And then E, this one, this is the pace. So we can call this one the paste, which is used to support the to support the to support the panis and pana. Now we proceed to part 8. Number 8. How can the hotness of a panis and pana can be increased? Simple. This one is by opening the air holes. So if you open the air holes, you can increase the hotness of a panis and pana. Explain why luminous flame is sooty. The luminous flame is sooty because it contains unburned carbon atoms. So it contains unburned carbon atoms. Follow my YouTube channel to part 2 of Form 1 work, KCSE Revision 2023. Kindly subscribe, click the notification bell such that you will be notified once I upload the new video.